Good evening and welcome to the Personnel Committee meeting. Today is Monday, April 28th. It is now 6:46 p.m. Voting members present, to my left, we have Councilor Anna Levy, the Vice Chair of this committee, Councilor Wendy Luzon, and to my right, Councilor Fidelina Santiago. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2022, this meeting of the Personnel Committee is being conducted both in person and via remote participation. A reminder that persons who would like to listen or view this meeting while in progress may either attend here at the City Council chamber or use our Facebook or YouTube channels. At this time, can you please join me in a moment of silence in honor of the Pope that the entire world has lost? And now join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I see we have some individuals here, but I think that's for budget and finance. Councilors, we don't have any minutes to approve. We don't have new items, new business items for the personnel, but we do have a tabled matter that in recent, like a week or two ago, I got an update on. So can I get a motion to untable item 38-25, confirm appointment of Pamela Gonell, Assistant Commissioner of Health and Code Services? Motion has been made. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Councilor Luzon. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And the ayes have it. Councilors, I'm just pulling out my phone to read you an email that I received in my city email. The last time we discussed this item, we were waiting to hear back from the Ethics Commission to see if everything was okay. I did receive this Ethics Commission email and letter with the letterhead with the attorney that provided the service to Ms. Gonell. And I also had our city attorney, Attorney Hooten, look it over and review it to ensure that I was interpreting this letter correctly. And I'm going to read you what Attorney Hooten wrote to me on April 10th. I am happy to speak about this, but it appears that filing a disclosure and abstaining from any decision involving her husband's company, she is free to be appointed permanent. So that is the advice that she received from the Ethics Commission, and I also, let me forward this to you guys actually. So excuse me while I forward this, just in case if you want it for your records. It is a lengthy letter. And it does get a bit confusing in some sections of it, which is why I had our city attorney review it to ensure that I was understanding it correctly. So with that being said, that this item was tabled pending this letter. It appears that she is all set to go if we move forward with this appointment. So I'll leave it to this committee to see how you guys would like to move forward.
I think that we already.
Try the other.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I think so that's the last meeting that we have. We already discussed it. We already interviewed Ms. Pamela Gonell, and I think that we should send it to the full council for a favor recommendation. Yes, I do it as a formal motion.
I would like to amend to add something to the motion, or after that.
Let's get a second first.
Second.
Yes, I would like to add the motion if she can accept, pending the information from her college like a pensum or the assignment she did it already?
I don't see it here, but I do believe she has that now. So, Council Levy, would you accept that as a friendly amendment?
Council Chair, I don't think so that we should do this, the requestment of this curriculum. So I think so that she already presented all of the paperwork that she needed, and besides that, I think so that she has more than what is been looking at the request that we did on the newspaper or the application.
So that's a no to the.
Yes, just for the record.
However, Council, what we can do as part of the discussion, I do recall speaking to the director, and if needed, she does have that paperwork, so we can ask her to provide that. We can ask her to provide that. Yeah. At the full council meeting. Council, okay. Okay, so looks like we're all set. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wondering if there's anything else. Counselors, can I have a motion to untable item 393-23, Police Chief Position Search Committee and Update?
Someone.
Motion has been made by
Second.
Councilor Santiago, seconded by Councilor Levy. No discussion on tabled matters. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Now, can I have a motion to withdraw this item?
So moved.
Motion has been made by Councilor Levy, seconded by Councilor Santiago. I'm just gonna say real quick, we all know where this process is at the moment, so I don't believe we need this item at the personnel meeting, pending that we are aware that there is a name coming down.
Council Chair.
Councilor Levy.
Okay, can we take it out of table also item
Wait, let's finish
1022?
Let's finish with this one, with the vote. All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Can I have a motion to untable item 1022, appointment of Modesto Maldonado to the Lawrence Redevelopment Authority Board?
Motion to withdraw.
Someone.
Wait, we need to untable it first. Motion has been made by Councilor Levy, seconded by Councilor Santiago. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Councilor Levy, motion to,
This is item 1022, is an item for withdrawal. It's been there for a couple of years right now. And I already spoke with Mr. Maldonado, and he said that he's not interested in that.
okay. So you're making a motion to withdraw?
Motion to withdraw, yes.
Second.
Motion has been made by motion to withdraw has been made by Councilor Levy, seconded by Councilor Santiago. All those in favor, discussion on the withdrawal? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any nays? The ayes have it. Looking at any other items. All right, I'm not seeing any, if there's any other tabled items that you guys would like to, counselors would like to untable. On my end, I'm not seeing any, as I don't have updates for them yet, but if anyone else has an update on any. All right, so we're good to go. At this point then, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion has been made by Councilor Levy, seconded by Councilor Santiago. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the ayes have it. Thank you, counselors.
A little reminder that this is a citation over there for everybody to sign.
April 28th. It is 11:36 in the evening. Thank you so much for your patience as I waited to have quorum. Voting members present, I have the council president to my right, Councilor Giovanni Rodriguez, and to my left, Councilor Wendy Luzon. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2022, this meeting of the Budget and Finance Committee is being conducted both in person and via remote participation. A reminder that persons who would like to listen or view this meeting while in progress may either attend here in the City Council chamber or use any of our social media channels, YouTube and Facebook. At this time, can you join me in a moment of silence to honor Pope Francis? And now join me in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilors, we don't have any minutes to approve, so we're going straight into new business. The first item on our list, we have item 154-25, authorization to expend $50,000 towards the Mosaic Municipal Match Grant, brought to us by Sue Fink, our Manager of Financial and Administrative Services. Ms. Fink, you have the floor.
Good evening, councilors. The Mosaic Opioid Recovery Partnership, also called Mosaic, funded by the Mass Department of Public Health, Bureau of Substance Addiction Services, and powered by the RISE Massachusetts Foundation, is a unique public-private collaboration designed to fund initiatives that are addressing the opioid overdose crisis in communities and populations that have been historically underserved and have experienced a high rate of opioid-related overdose deaths. In the late fall, the Lawrence Methuen Community Coalition, LMCC, in partnership with the city, applied for a $50,000 Mosaic Municipal Matching Grant to continue the coordination of support services and responses for high-risk individuals that have experienced opioid overdoses currently being represented at the Lawrence Hub by providing transportation to treatment centers. The hub consists of 40 local service providers and agencies, including LMCC and the Lawrence Police Department, who meet weekly and work collaboratively with individuals and families identified as having elevated or acute risk of harm and need access to services from more than one community agency. $50,000 was the maximum a municipality could apply for, and we are matching that with $50,000 from the opioid settlement funds that the city has received. The city will enter into a contract with Family Services of the Merrimack Valley, which is the fiscal agent for LMCC. These funds will be used to support a 0.5 FTE client resource navigator who engages with the clients for recovery services, and the intent is that person will be someone with lived experience. 0.05 FTE of the program manager who provides program oversight and supervision. 0.10 FTE of a program administrative support for tracking and reporting. Fringe for the above positions. Transportation to recovery and detox, and some costs for program office space and supplies.
Thank you. Councilors, any questions or comments? Council President?
Through you, Madam Chair, is that the matching amount is 150,000 from?
No, the match is $50,000. It's a
50,000.
dollar for dollar match. So it's a total of $100,000.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I have a question. Ms. Fink, how is this grant going to, I guess, complement the funds that we already have and the activities currently happening through your office?
So LMCC had some funding that was providing the cost for the transportation to detox, and that funding program ended, and they were also going to be able to hire that client navigator using these funds.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I'll make a motion through you.
Council President?
I'll make a motion to send it to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Motion has been made by the Council President. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Council Luzon. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the ayes have it.
Thank you, councilors.
Thank you. Councilors, I'm going to go to item 156-25, appropriation transfer in the amount of $5,000 from Business and Economic Development, in-state travel to office supplies, brought to us by Kate King, our finance officer from the Planning and Development Office. Ms. King, you have the
Thank you.
floor.
The Business and Economic Development would like to do this transfer. They are hoping to purchase some new computers/laptops for their staff members. They currently only have one laptop for the Business and Economic Development Division. So sometimes if there's two meetings, it's a problem. They have to borrow a laptop. I think it would be more efficient if they were to have laptops and in case they needed to work remotely. So, I mean, but it's just a small transfer.
Thank you. Councilors, any questions or comments? Council
Question.
President?
There is anybody working remotely currently?
Working with what?
Remotely.
No. I'm just saying if they're at an event and they need to work remotely or do some stuff, like sometimes we'll be like, different locations and we have to, they're doing a small business event tomorrow, so they need to have laptops and be able to access stuff while they're there.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to send it to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Motion has been made. Is there a second? Second. Probably seconded. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye, and the ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, now we are going to, so councilors, I am skipping around a little bit because we do have, what?
I have one more transfer, right?
Okay. 157-25, appropriation transfer in the amount of $5,200 from the Business and Economic Development in-state travel to the other purchase services, brought to us by Ms. King again. Ms. King, you have the floor.
Yeah, it's supposed to be planning, from planning's in-state travel to planning's other purchase services.
Okay.
This is to cover the cost of some appraisals that have come up lately. The planning department has to do appraisals of certain properties. There's also DEP filings that we don't always know about in advance, and we have to pay for those. And right now, in the 5380, I don't have any funds left to cover those, so.
Councilors, any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to send it to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Motion has been made, properly seconded. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to, so item, just so, council, just so you know, we were just talking to Director McCarthy. Item 158-25, I'm not going to entertain it because I'm going to lose quorum, as a council president would have to recuse himself due to a potential conflict of interest. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to ask you to be prepared for the full council meeting.
I will.
And we'll take this out of committee at that level, and we'll discuss it as a full council.
Very good,
Next.
understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. No, 'cause okay, next item, we have item 159-25, authorization to expend $25,000 from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of the Attorney General for Nikki Jam Music and Arts Center Design Agreement, brought to us by Theo Rosario, our acting city engineer. Is he here tonight with us? No, advisor, senior advisor.
Hi, good
Stanley.
evening, Committee Chair Infante, City Council President Rodriguez, and Councilor Luzon. For reasons of conflict of interest, the Theo cannot address this issue. As a matter of fact, we have made decisions for him not to serve in that capacity any longer. So I'll be here to provide an answer to the best of my ability. As you know, that the state is managing the Merrimack Valley Revolving Fund, and portion through the Mass Safe program, and portion of these funds we have recommended to use for the design of the Nikki Jam Center, which is 147 Haverhill Street. We want to proceed as quickly and expedite this project, and we have submitted we have already submitted and have discussions with the Attorney General's office in regards to this project for us to move forward. But before doing so, we would like your approval for us to move forward.
So, I'm sorry, repeat again. So the $25,000 from the Attorney General's office is going towards what specifically?
The design of the, we did renderings, as you already know, in preparation for the, remember at that time Nikki Jam came to the community, but we also wanted to have more or less an estimate of what the cost would be and what it would look like. We presented that to you and the community. It was properly posted, and now we're trying to move as expeditiously on this matter, and in order for us to seek additional funding, we need a design.
Thank you. Before opening the floor, I do want to give some background information, particularly about this project. It's been a while since we've spoken about this project.
Correct.
I had the pleasure of working with the mayor's office in terms of bringing the artist here and having that opportunity with him and his team. And when this project came about, I do want to inform the public that his team connected us to other organizations like the Latin Grammys Foundation, Tito's Vodka Corporation, that are more than willing to help the city of Lawrence in some way. They offered, could be through scholarships, curriculum, instruments, etc. So there's more to this project than what people actually know. We're just still in the planning phase, and it's good to see this moving along.
Yeah, we just so you may know, in just in anticipation of, so this would be the first step. For the design, we will come before you again because some of the funds of the Merrimack Valley Revolving Fund would also be used for energy saving program. I mean, once we have the design, we're looking at the window, the roofs, that may be part of another approval that we will be seeking from the city council. So this is the first step.
Thank you. I just wanted also to make sure that I stated a little bit of the background, because there has been questions on why are we doing this, where's money, is all the money coming from the city of Lawrence, et cetera. So I did wanted to make a point that outside help or partnerships, collaboration has been offered, and we have made those connections and built those relationships for this. That being said, any questions or comments?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Councilor Luzon.
So this project is over $25,000. Did this went to a bidding? Because it's over $25,000. And I see, Madam Chair, that the same company is being used for LRA, and it's also used for the design. It's being used. So I just want to know if this project went.
Yeah, I can give
bidding.
the answer. It's the other way around. That we have, we have in-house doctors, and we do have architects and engineers that is part of it that are in-house. They call them house doctors that provide consulting for the city. This company that you see as part of it is the company that the architectural company that worked on the parking spaces. They were selected like 3 years ago, together with also Wooden and Curran, that is currently doing other studies for us. as well as environmental partners. That is the reason why you see that the LRA is also using the architects, because it went through the procurement system within the city. So we are also using Woodard and Curran for other studies that we have. We just received through the LRA a report from them for us to present, for information for us to present to both state as federal delegation and also the governor's office.
Madam Chair, if I may, Senior Advisor, so this specific project doesn't need to go through a bidding process?
No, because it's exempt from 30B.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to send it to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Luzon. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Thank you. Next item is item 160-25, authorization to expense in the amount of $17,500 for the Firefighter Safety Equipment Grant Program for turnout gear, round 2 of funding for the fiscal year 2025. And we have our Acting Chief Delaney.
Good evening, Madam Chair, councilors.
So can you tell us a little bit about this?
Sure,
grant
this
and
is
what-
a grant, $17,500. We plan to purchase 5 sets of gear. What's good about this gear, it's PFAS-free. PFAS is polyfluoroalkyl substances, that it's actually a water and oil repellent, but it's linked to an increased cancer risk. It's something in our gear that's causing us cancer. So this new gear is PFAS-free. So it's a good thing in the fire service, and, you know, we're looking forward to it. And with this grant, we could buy 5 full sets, which will replace members' gear who's gone over like 10 years. Once your structural firefighting gear is over 10 years old, it should be taken out of service. So this will be replacing some of that gear.
Thank you. Councilors, any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to send to the full council with favorable recommendation.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second motion.
Seconded by Council President. Discussion? Council President.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you, Chief.
Thank you.
Get-
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
All right, going back up top, item 155-25, report and presentation on the Creating a Thriving Lawrence program, and we have Ms. Fink and the Senior Advisor Spanner here to present this presentation.
Committee members again. As you may recall, I have the date here, June 20th, 2023. The mayor submitted a request to the city council in which you have approved the Creating a Thriving Lawrence program. And also, together with approving the program, you have also authorized the staff to work with the different community organization through an RFP process to expend a total of $4.6 million plus dollars, which was a portion of the $16 million of funding that was transferred from ARPA funding through to free cash. There was a series of organizations that applied. The numbers, I think shortly, Susan is going to present to you. However, based on our review, we are very much satisfied in the program, how it was executed, and also our community partners, how effective and efficient they have been in making these funds reach and help our community at different levels. So whether it would be a youth program, whether it would be education, whether it included our senior citizens, whether it included citizenship programs, voting programs, funding that was utilized for our disabled members and people in our community. But we are happy to say that we, as staff and the mayor, has been very satisfied. But now it's turn to present it to you as the committee, as the first step, and also report this to the city council as a whole. We have invited all of the organizations because this is a unique opportunity that was provided and presented to all these organizations that are doing a wonderful job in the community. Unfortunately, we weren't able to support maybe all the organizations that are working is assisting and supporting our community, but we are happy that those that did apply, that did receive funding, did it in a satisfactory manner. As part of the requirement, we have promised the City Council that by the end of or close to the end of the program, that we will present you a report. We have requested all the organizations to submit their reporting, which they have been doing throughout the course of I think it's almost 18 months that they have been involved with the program in implementing and executing the program. So that information has been presented through the Office of Planning and Development. As you recall, both Susan Fink, Kate King, and myself were the person that were responsible for this program, and we are ready to present, and we have invited all the organization to come before you. We expect that this presentation, and we're going to try to do it as short as possible, considering the time. But we think that we can do it in more or less in 35 minutes for questions and answers. We've invited all the organizations that receive funds, and I believe those that are not present, I think some of them are also online. We have made it mandatory because we think that this was a great opportunity for them, and we are also taking notes who were invited, who excused themselves, because this is a commitment to the community, and we have to report it. Thank you.
Hello again, councilors. So the Creating a Thriving Lawrence, use the arrows. The amount that has been funded to the nonprofits is $4,445,000 through an RFP process. To date, which is actually as of last week, we had dispersed $2,514,555.55. There are pending payments in the system right now of just over $84,000, so we've got $1.85 million roughly left to expend by June 30th. You'll have to excuse my pronunciation here, but cambiando el mundo de personas con discapacidad. Thank you. Thank you. Worked with families that have children with special education needs and helped them work to become advocates. They graduated over 150 parents through their process and created 50 strong community leaders. Ateneo Dominicano de Nueva Inglaterra ran the Bohemian Sunset. Thank you, everybody. Ran the Bohemian Sunset program, which is a landmark tourist attraction for the city, 12 weeks from June through September. They generally have about 300 people that attend each week, and it brings art, music, and culture to our community. The Institute Cultural de Puerto Rico did the Bomba y Plena Festival, and they had over 500 people attend, and distinguished artists from the Puerto Rican traditional bomba and plena music genre are there to provide, again, music and culture to the community. The International Book Fair happens every year, and they served quite a few people, 725 adults, 429 children and youth. They had 27 writers, 6 artists, and 5 professors, for a total of 1,192 participants. They had a children's fair at the Lawrence Public Library and a youth fair at Lawrence High School in the fall. The Hispanic Image Smart Women's Biz Hub, Inc. hosts monthly breakfasts for local Latina businesswomen. They provide professional development. They also have a conference for their members, and they also have a gala where they give out awards to local businesses. Sharing Hope does a program of healing through art, and it fosters creativity, it enhances skills, and builds confidence, and has therapeutic benefits to the children. There's some great pictures of the participants there.
Sue,
Yes.
where is Sharing Hope located?
The library says that she does some of the stuff.
I think her office is,
They just recently moved.
oh, uh-oh.
There we go.
What is it?
599 Canal Street.
Thank you. Continue.
And I think it seems to say like some stuff happened at the library too. They did some sessions at the library.
Okay. Unfortunately, we're having some technical, oh, there we're back. Okay. Okay, Straight Ahead Ministries works with formerly incarcerated youth. They had 35 that graduated with woodworking skills from their vocational training program. 21 received a diploma or their high set, and 116 DYS youth were served with mentoring and peer support.
Sue, and where is Straight Ahead located?
Their headquarters are in Worcester, but they work here in the Lawrence area.
Nice, thank you.
You're welcome. Elevated
Well,
Thought.
if-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, if, well, I'm gonna. All right, being asked for you to mention the location of, well, I'm also wondering as well, of these organizations, please.
Okay.
So moving forward.
I'm going to have to ask some of the organizations to help me out on that because I didn't bring the addresses with me. Elevated Thought is located in the Everett Mills, that I do know. We provided support for the I Am Art, I Am Change apprenticeship program, and they served over 60 youth, and they had 7 full-time staff, 6 of whom were from Lawrence, and they taught and coordinated the program as well. There were 4 tracks: photo and video, visual art, creative writing, and social justice. And the youth were able to visualize creative careers and put these visions into action in ways such as public art projects, clothing, and workshop facilitation. And they were able to take some field trips, and they went to the Leica Gallery, the MoMA, and the Addison Gallery. So they exposed the youth to art outside of our community. Beyond Soccer served 1,209 youth in the in-city league and winter futsal. There were junior coaches, youth jobs, 83. There was a summer enrichment program that served 481. They did academic after-school tutoring. They have a in-school soccer and wellness program that worked directly with students at the Arlington and Gilmet middle schools. Over $12,000 was used to support former players to run the year-round program. And there's a really nice quote from one of the coach mentors. I won't read the whole thing, but He's a 5.5-year coach, and he's a student at UMass Lowell. They used funds to help provide gym rental costs and youth wages again. They received 448 hours of tutoring through the program. And in the winter, 334 youth played futsal, which is sort of an indoor soccer-like game. And 100% of that play was run by 18 former players, which are now junior coaches and coach mentors. Groundwork Lawrence did a community-style cooking class, Meals That Heal, and it seeks to empower residents to improve their family's nutrition by learning healthy cooking experiences. So year one, they had a session of 5 classes with 15 participants. In year 2, they had 2 sessions. One just ended April 8th with 15 participants, and their second class has 20 participants, and that will end in June. So they learned different things such as what does it mean to be healthy, reading food labels, shopping on a budget, using healthy swaps in recipes. Essex Arts Center had the Fiesta en la Calle, which is a free summer block party on Island Street, which has live music, dances, and activities, and a community-based art exhibit. And each July, the party brings over 2,000 visitors to Island Street to celebrate the vibrancy of our community. Mill City Investment is now called Nectar Community Investments. They've rebranded themselves. They were awarded $800,000 with the primary goal of providing financing capital to large small businesses. A subset was intended to help businesses purchase their own commercial space. They have done such a thing. Sweet Grace Heavenly Cakes, I'm sure you remember, they were a victim of the fire where they were in the same building where Sweeney Liquors was. So that commercial space was rebuilt, and they provided $490,000, $250,000 towards that. So they are actually becoming a wholesale producer of baked goods, which will hopefully increase their revenue. And there are 4 residential units in that building as well. Greater Lawrence Community Action Council's Healthy Homes program is dedicated to creating safe and healthy living environments, which is achieved by helping families address hazards in their home. They really worked with their early learning division clients and offered solutions such as childproofing hazards, promoting safer environment, the importance of emergency preparedness, fire prevention, and empowering individuals to protect their rights as tenants. So they supported 139 families in 2024 and provided them with some essential supplies such as fire extinguishers, carbon monoxide detectors, dehumidifiers, and more. And as of March 2025, they have supported 87 families with the same type of supplies. Lazarus House Ministries in FY24 provided 54,317 meals through their soup kitchen, and 75,127 guests were provided groceries at their food pantry. And through the first half of FY25, they provided 31,887 meals, and 44,109 guests provided groceries. In their shelter and housing programs, there was, in FY24, 6,514 emergency shelter bed nights and 19,796 bed nights at their transitional housing program. And again, in the first half of 2025, 3,511 emergency shelter bed nights and 9,227 transitional housing bed nights. The Bread and Roses Heritage Festival is held annually on Labor Day weekend. It honors the 1912 Bread and Roses strike. It's a free festival open to everyone. It features music, art, education, local vendors, promotes workers' rights, social justice, and immigrant stories, and they estimate attendance at approximately 2,000 people. Last year's theme was literacy and democracy, and this beautiful logo was designed by a student from Lawrence. They did a story walk on Campagnon Common, which allowed the attendees to engage in an interactive outdoor setting with literature, and they do all sorts of fun things during their festival. Another wonderful festival also held on Labor Day weekend is the Feast of the Three Saints. And last year, not this past fall, but the fall before, it was the 100th anniversary, and we provided funds that helped offset the cost of the police and fire details. As you all know, that's a wonderful organization that provides scholarships and promotes the Italian culture. Top-Notch Scholars is a youth leadership organization. It helps youth find their life passion and career goals through academies, internship, and mentorship sessions. So through their attendance at their different academies, at keynote speeches, scholarships given out, and mentoring sessions, they impacted over 1,190 youth. At their Entrepreneurship Academy, they have accounts where they're selling the top-notch water. And they've also awarded scholarships, $15,000 in 2023 and $20,000 in 2024 to students pursuing programs that will, from the entrepreneurship funding. Their Internship Academy, they had experiences 4 to 6 hours per week at the various health centers in the area. They worked in the emergency room, maternity, pediatrics, ultrasound, human resources, financing, pharmacy, outpatient, and more. They engaged in one-on-one mentoring, and they have a waiting list of 88 students, so they're looking for more partners to partner with them. The Lawrence Adult Learning Center did a program for citizenship for low-income residents to become citizens. So they do outreach, ESOL education, one-on-one tutoring, and voucher support for the N400 program application. So they have 5 classes, 2 evening and 3 on Saturday. They had community citizenship forums, provided financial assistance to 20 students, increased community outreach, and did over 200 hours of mock interviews. And the results were 70 students became citizens of the United States. There are 27 students right now enrolled in the classes. There are 11 students awaiting their naturalization interview, and there are over 100 students in their ESOL for citizenship classes. The Great Alarms Community Boating Program served over 250 children from the Recreation Department every Monday and Wednesday, which included lunch and membership for those attendees all summer long, 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They have their lunch program, arts and crafts, gyms and games, a science program, field trips, puzzles and stagey, and water safety education. And they have been serving the citizens of Lawrence for over 46 years. Miscellaneous Basketball does basketball after school. They have 260 students, ages 7 to 18, both girls and boys. They also have teams in the AAU circuit, 11 teams competing, 9 boys teams and 2 girls teams. And 30 youth attended 2 basketball camps in Spain last summer. They do academic tutoring, they do a reading program, and they help students with their applications to private schools and enrollment support, transportation support, and 38 youth attending private and/or school choice. And they also help with college readiness and health and wellness. They talk about substance use and mental health and youth development, healthy relationships and positive well-being. And they also have leadership development. They involved in a youth tobacco prevention movement to raise awareness about the dangers of tobacco and vaping. And they have year-round youth jobs, summer youth jobs, and they have coaching training for their older students. Serving Stars is the first and only tennis program in Lawrence. There were 31 participants in the after-school program, 250 in their summer program. So they use these funds for transportation to and from the program. They had fitness tracking devices. They helped students with applications for competitive opportunities. They did field trips to Brooks School, Harvard University, and more. And they have a high school mentor program. Lawrence Sports Alliance is a partnership effort of championing her game that introduced hundreds of Lawrence girls to free quality sports experience for a full week every February. Since COVID, there's been a sharp decline in participation in girls' sports at Lawrence High School, which is kind of sad. There was a 50% drop in basketball, softball, track and field. The field hockey team folded entirely. The freshman and JV teams are unable to fill rosters in multiple sports. So they want to reverse these trends by exposing kids to sports. It's kind of hard to see, but they had folks from the New England Revolution, Merrimack College, the Red Sox, the YMCA, and the kids were able to experience various sports during this week, during the summer. So there were over 1,000 girls impacted in 2024 and 25, 16 different sports activities, 30 partners contributed, and nearly 1,000 items of sports equipment and gear were distributed to the girls who participated. Olive in July offers citizenship classes and education to English learners and speakers of other language. So they were able to support staff and teachers for the ESOL and citizenship program. They had 3 courses in FY24, so there were 64 new English learners, and they successfully completed the course and advanced to the citizenship classes, becoming U.S. citizens. And in 2025, they have 68 new citizens who can now contribute more actively to our local economy and community. Lawtown Boxing is recently funded, as you're aware, and they are actually expanding beyond just boxing. They're doing gym as well. They're doing health and fitness. On Wednesdays, they have a women's night to create the opportunities for more females to participate. Officer Fabian of the police department has been down there training with the youth. You can see him there, a little video boxing there. Semana Hispana was founded in 1979 by Isabel Melendez, a community activist and community organizer, and it was inspired by her attendance at a festival in Boston and a desire to celebrate the Hispanic culture in Lawrence. And it's aimed to showcase the rich traditions of various Latin American countries through music, food, and dance. During the cultural fair, all Latin American countries are able to share their food and traditions. And at the festival that's held on Campagnon Common, it's a 2-day festival. There are generally lots of vendors, food, cultural merchandise, music from local artists and international Hispanic artists, and it's a main gathering for family in the surrounding communities as well. Downtown Lawrence Association Association maintained 18 planters on Essex Street during the summer and holiday season. They coordinated the installation of 80,000 LED holiday lights on Essex Street and 40 poles with holiday garlands and bows. They collaborated with Elevated Thought on the design and production of a Welcome to Lawrence mural in the Essex Street alley. They worked and helped launch the See Lawrence marketing campaign and collaborated with Mass Development's TDI district to install banners with the branding message and developed a high-quality video for small business owners to showcase on their social media page. So phase 1 is beautification and branding. Joey Fournier Services is dedicated to violence prevention, education, victim support, and public awareness. The second step teaches children to change the attitudes and behaviors that contribute to violence and drug abuse by encouraging to think about others' feelings, solve problems cooperatively, and manage their anger in a positive way. It's an after-school program that uses enrichment activities, pro-social skills of empathy, impulse control, and problem solving, anger management. And 50 children participated, 25 in each of the fiscal years, and they were in 3 days of after-school classes for an hour and a half each day for 22 weeks. And there was a nice article in the Eagle Tribune on October 26th of 2025 recognizing the testament of the Joey Fournier Services to Lawrence. The New England Cultural and Arts Center provides art lessons, so young artists learn visual arts and use various medium. There's also a modeling program, and they say confidence starts with the strut. So students are inspired to treat every foot like a runway and feel good in the skin that they have. Learns good posture, a great walk, and how to give a beautiful smile. And there are music lessons. So they're learning to read music, play guitar and piano, and keep an ear out for future composers and musicians. The Nuestro Cosme Beauty Certificate Program was an initiative to certify 5 men or women looking to acquire a cosmetology license to work as beauticians in Lawrence, and included manicure and pedicure certifications as well. They initially were planning on 5 students, but it grew to 9 students. And right now, 8 of those students are awaiting their licensing exam. Family Services of the Merrimack Valley used the funding to help support the mental health clinic and the a campaign to build change to renovate its main office. So the mental health clinic provided services to over 300 individuals, providing more than 5,000 hours of therapy. And through their campaign to build change, they raised $3 million and completed the building renovations on time and within budget. And as you can see, the $100,000 was a small amount of the operating for the mental health clinic, so that was very important. In the renovations, they improved the client experience through reconfiguration of workspaces. They did accessibility enhancements, energy efficiencies, and safety and security measures, and a small amount of our funds went towards that renovation. The Boys and Girls Club have 2 programs funded through this Creating a Thriving Lawrence, and the Cub goal is to break the cycle of poverty. Their first program is Planning for the Future, so it helps middle and high school students determine what's next. They get guidance on admission to college and trade school, prep school. They do visits, application and financial aid. There's workforce development. Participants have been accepted to Central Catholic High School, St. John's Prep, Proctor Academy, Greater Lawrence Technical High School, UMass Lowell, Brown University, and on and on. Their other program is a music instruction program, and there was a study of 100,000 students, and music students scored higher in in science, math, and English. So music is very important for education. So 70 members had one-on-one weekly lessons in guitar, bass, piano, drum, digital production, singing, and ukulele. 85 members play instruments during their free time, and they've done performances. And as we say, potential improved academic performance means a stronger community. Greater Lawrence Family Health Center, we're all familiar with. They're the primary care provider for the Merrimack Valley since 1980. It's just some statistics about them. We were able to provide funding for them to purchase some new equipment, such as handheld ultrasound machines, microscopes, hearing screen units, visual screen units, lead testing machines, dermoscopes, and some other equipment, helping us to maintain a healthy community. The Lawrence Partnership received funding mostly for their revolving test kitchen, and that provides a low barrier entry point to food entrepreneurs into the food industry to incubate and responsibly grow local food businesses, create sustainable businesses, and contribute to the local economy. So they've got 17 active local food entrepreneurs working out of the revolving test kitchen right now, and graduates have moved on to establish brick and mortar establishments, Three Garcias, Coco Ray's, Farine Bakery, Jesse's Place, Planted Donuts, Urban Farm, and Wings on Wheels. It also helps support their general operations. On the second Thursday of the month, they have a program called Know Your City. They have 10 sessions, and they bring about different speakers to educate Lawrence residents about the inner workings of their local government agencies and resources. And not to put a plug in, but next Thursday night, May 8th, will be on the open space plan and the stormwater resiliency plan, and I will be one of the presenters that night. So feel free to come on down to the library. And last but not least, the Lawrence Theater Festival. It highlights local and global theatrical talent, revives classic work, and promotes contemporary plays. It brings people together, fosters inclusive spaces. There were workshops for acting, writing, and directing. And they, at the 2024 festival, over 600 people attended. And the very last thing, which I don't have a slide on, but you all have, it's just a breakdown of each of the awardees, how much they were funded, how much they've spent, and any pending payments, and the remaining balance on each organization. And as Octavian said, if you have any specific questions for the agencies, here they are.
Okay, before we get into the questioning, I do have one comment. So while you were presenting on the Lawrence Downtown Association, I went on their website as you were presenting it, the downtownlawrence.org.
Okay.
Beautiful website. And then I went on the City of Lawrence website, specifically to the visitors page. It would be great to have the organization work with the City of Lawrence to have like their link there to guide people to their website, because it's all about downtown, which is in our city. So it would be great to include that in our main City of Lawrence website. Okay. On our main.
All right, I will make a note of that, and I will speak to the appropriate people that can make that happen.
Thank you. Councilors, any comments or questions? Any other comments or a question? No? Did I have?
Can I add just maybe some lessons learned through this process? I'll have to say that all these organizations were great to work with. Some of them are first timers, some of them I'm familiar with through the CDBG program. They're all very eager to work and provide the appropriate documentation. I'll have to say this was a lot of work running this program. In hindsight, I would say that it might have been better if we had hired an additional staff member to work on this. I was chatting with Octavian about this earlier. Because it's a lot. There were 35 contracts that had to be written. Kate had to do purchase orders for all of them. And then when they send in their invoice with all their receipts, it's a matter of matching everything up, making sure they've got their proof of payment, they've got the right invoices, they're in the right time frame, they match their budget line item. Some needed to have their budget tweaked. So it was a lot of work, but right, as Kate said, on top of our regular work that we're doing. But again, they're doing some great work. I'm really happy with all of the work that they have done. Another thing I might have done differently is to do what we do with the CDBG program, is bring everybody into a class at the beginning and go through the process with them. I think it might have been a time saver to do it that way rather than having to do a lot of it one-on-one with each individual. Not every organization, but several organizations needed a little bit more one-on-one time. So that might have been something I might have done differently had we, if we ever do a program like this again, that's something I would suggest that we do.
If you do a program like this again, if we do, this
Probably not during my tenure.
This would actually be a great opportunity for the city to consider hiring a finance intern who's probably a junior or senior in college.
Yep.
This would be a great opportunity for them to get on to have on their resume. So something to think of for the future.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Advisor?
I would like to take a moment to thank the team. It's really a team effort, Sue, Kate, and the rest of the OPD staff. Everybody's one way or the other involved, and like
Marisol was a big help.
Marisol was a great help. Everybody chimed in, worked and helped, and also under difficult circumstances, they were always there. Obviously, like Susan said, nobody, this is the first time that we did it. I remember when first we had this discussion during the city council meeting. I remember both of you were here, the council president as well as yourself. The fear was, you have so many millions of dollars, were we able to do it? Today we could say that thanks to, number one, the mayor to present it, number two, thanks to you in having the confidence in the staff. And we could say that so far, because the program hasn't ended yet, that the work is being done according to plan, and we're reaching and achieving our goals, as you can already see. I would also like to inform you that what we're planning to do is to send out a survey to all the organizations to see how we can improve, maybe for in the future. We need to work on succession planning because so we can have other staff member also prepared to do it. Thankfully, that during the process, we were healthy in the sense that someone didn't get sick or someone, and there were accidents. I mean, as a matter of fact.
Somebody did break her elbow.
Yeah, and we've been going back and forth, and not to make it long, but at least, I'm very grateful for the job that you guys have done. And after we had the conversation, Sue and I, because we had to be realistic, how well did we do it? How did we feel that we can improve? And one of them, which I wanted to do, was to basically have staff go on surprise visits. And also not only to supervise, but also to interact, and sometimes visualizing and being together with these, all the organizations that we work with. And remember, we had more applicants, I think it was 60-something or 80?
58, I believe.
Yeah, 58 applicants, and some didn't bother to apply because there was the reimbursement criteria. I'm sure that if that was not the case, we would have more organizations that would have applied. So I would like to thank you as well as City Council to have the confidence in us and in staff in general, and we appreciate and we hope that maybe with all the budget cuts that's going on, we can, probably at a smaller scale, continue to help these organizations. If there's any questions, feel free to ask. We have each one of the representatives, if you feel or you deem that it's necessary, you can ask them directly.
Thank you. Councilors, any questions or comments? Council President?
Through you, Madam Chair, thank you for the opportunity. Well, essentially, I wanted to just first just say thank you for putting everything that you have put together. There is a lot of information. It is a matter of just going over to see how satisfied the program was. But I'm pretty sure that it's a lot of positive impact on there.
Absolutely.
Just a quick question. How you guys figured it out, the reimbursement portion of it? I know that a lot of organizations that were struggling with that at some point, and then at some point they kind of figured it out, and then they went over and be able to get access to the funds. So how you guys did that?
So we were able to work with each individual organization to set what we call their benchmarks and what they felt that they could accomplish, and then submit a reimbursement request for. And we were very flexible. Some organizations wanted to do just one reimbursement per fiscal year. Some wanted to do 2 or 3. Others have done 5 or 6. Even some might even have done more than 5 or 6. So we were very flexible in working with the organizations, understanding that some of them are small and don't have the cash flow. As you recently saw, one of the organizations, we talked about doing very small reimbursements, and we were able to work with that organization to accomplish that. So we try not to do more than 1 a month, but if we have to, we have to. We're willing to work with organizations to make them successful.
Another question that I have, it will be best practice and something to kind of like, make sure that we put everything together, and that's to have a shared drive with that with all the documentation in case we need to respond to any type of request for this program. I'm assuming that every organization have a individual folder that you guys
Yes.
maintain and keep record of everything that they have submitted and everything that they have been provided through the program. That will be essential to have. Make sure that all those potential invoices, contract, and any other response to the RFP or anything like that, any important documents, as minimal as it could be, to maintain our individual folder in case there is any kind of request or petition. In general, I want to make a comment when it comes to Lawrence. I mean, we need to, with this program, we need to get like the true impact on our community when it comes to the short term and long terms, and what is expected. I know that the ARPA fund is a special fund from the federal government that we don't foresee seeing any time short. So essentially, having a short and long-term impact on the program will help us to figure it out what could be funded in the future with our own fund, and how important that is for the community when it comes to the local economy, when it comes to local sport, when it comes to the pipelines to help out others that stay in the city, that leave the city and come back, and so far, so on. So those are important data and benchmark that we need to make sure that we target, so we know in the future what are the best practice to be able to accomplish those results that we're looking for. And in general, especially in the sports section, we need to work hard to ensure that the pipeline to our schools and the sport for our schools is also there. We have invested a lot of money, and I hear a lot, saying that okay, we provide hope for kids to go out. But we do also we also enjoy our sport here in Lawrence. We're a very competitive community, and having a pipeline that allows those varsity teams at the Lawrence High and also at the different schools that belong to Lawrence, it's important. So, and since we invest in money that could be used for the development of our own youth, I think that the target should be how we can develop the pipeline for Lawrence High and those sport facilities that we have.
And Greater Lawrence Tech.
Yeah, of course. That's why.
Have to pitch
That's
my
why I
school.
say. That's why I say school belonging to Lawrence. Just thinking about you. So yes, it is extremely important that we can provide that pipeline, and not only to. I mean, a lot of people seeing that leave the community. It's a good thing. Yes, I got it. But we also encouraging kids to stay, and just encouraging kids to kind of like see the benefit of our community. That's also something that we should be looking into as well. So that's a general comment when it comes to sport and the pipeline that we need to develop here in Lawrence. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Councilor Luzon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To you, Madam Chair. And as always, Sue and Kate, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for the team. And I know it was a lot of work working with each individual institution, nonprofits. So thank you so much for that.
It's our pleasure.
Like always, a great job. But I have a suggestion, knowing that the funds are only available now, that we may not have the funds available for next fiscal year. If there's any possibility of utilizing workshops for these nonprofits for grants, if that is a possibility, I think it will be beneficial for, especially for the younger, the organizations that just started.
Okay.
So creating that space for them to continue doing the great job that they've been doing for the city. And I'm pro art, and I think they need support, and they need funds, because some of them, I'm concerned about some of them and the ability for them to continue providing the great services that they do for the city of Lawrence. Once again, thank you for your leadership, Kate, Sue, and for the entire team. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you for your kind words.
I have a few, my little notes here that I wrote.
Sure.
So I addressed the downtown Lawrence website. I would also like to know, pertaining to Nestor Community Investments, how many Lawrence businesses have they helped fund for their businesses? Are they here tonight? No? No, they're not here? Okay.
No, I don't think they're here, actually.
Also, what I would like to, and this is perhaps something that you can communicate with Lawrence Sports Alliance, it was saddening to hear that the field hockey program at Lawrence High is no longer there. Just a little fun fact, I guess. The city of Lawrence, well, Lawrence Public Schools used to have field hockey as a program in our middle school. So I played field hockey 7th and 8th grade at the Frost School. And that's how I was introduced to the program. So perhaps this organization, along with the city of Lawrence, can work with Lawrence Public Schools to see how we can bring it back into the middle schools so that it could continue through the high school, and we can integrate more students, more student athletes into that program, so that this doesn't happen again when they bring it back, because they'll bring it back hopefully eventually.
I will have to comment on that. My daughter played field hockey for Lawrence High School, and the very first time she picked up a field hockey stick was when she was a freshman at Lawrence High School. At that time, there was no program in the middle school, and I found that when we went to other communities or they came here, you could tell which communities had a feeder program for the high school. So I think that's a great idea.
Thank you. And then I have a question regarding Straighter Ahead. I saw that they have, within your presentation, that DYS was referred in your presentation. Do they work directly with DYS?
They do, yes.
Okay. And do you know how many students or young adults they work that are from the city of Lawrence?
The numbers that were in the presentation were all
Okay,
Lawrence.
I'll look
Yeah,
back
it was,
at
I
it.
believe it was 116
Okay.
GYS.
I can look back at it. And then my last question pertaining to Straighter Ahead, where do they work with these young adults when they are within our community?
I wish I could answer that question, but I can't. I will reach out to them and find out that answer for you.
Okay, thank you. And then I have two last comments. If you could get me the contact information for the student that designed the Bread and Roses logo, the one that went for 2024,
Okay.
that would be great. Thank you. And lastly, for me, I was happy to see Serving Stars. Again, tennis is an amazing program. I played varsity tennis at Greater Lawrence Tech, so I know the training that comes with it, and I'm happy to see a program outside of our high schools to train our students and keep them active, because we all know once the youth, if we got our youth active in a young age, they're most likely to not do bad things that they're not supposed to be doing. So I was happy to hear about all the programs that we're doing pertaining to our youth. And I thank every single one of you that are here contributing to our community and working together to ensure that our city continues to move forward. Anything else? Council President.
Yeah. A quick message to, how many organizations do you have in total?
There were 33 organizations that were
33?
funded.
How many of them show up in person? Total.
Yep.
I'm assuming everybody signed it. Don't know if there are a couple people who didn't sign it. All right. So,
Soccer, we have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Lawrence Sports Alliance online. I don't know who. Lawrence Partnership is online too.
23 in person, and I believe there were 4?
We have Lawrence Sports Alliance on Zoom, Beyond Soccer, Lawrence Partnership, and there is one name of an individual. I'm not sure who this individual is with. Ernie Citron.
I'm not sure.
All right, I just want to make sure, if they hire somebody through these funds, they should be here or at least online. I mean, this is a compromise. This is serious, and we definitely appreciate every organization that is here. But I mean, I hope that you guys get a good excuse for them not to be here if whoever didn't show up, and if they didn't, and then that should be noticed on the contract.
So I
So-
did send out a letter to the organizations back in March, telling them about coming to this meeting and also to the full city council meeting and asking them to provide the slides, which I pulled together. I didn't create those slides. It was a team effort from these wonderful folks behind me. And then I did a reminder, and there was some changes of dates, so they got reminded about the change of date, the 2 different switches of dates. So they received multiple reminders about the meeting.
No, and I agree. Hopefully you get a good email saying as to why they were not here. If they hire somebody with these funds, that somebody should be here, because that's a person that is going to respond to any type of question.
And there may
Well, we
be some
appreciate
financial
that.
implications to not being here as well.
Yeah, so just make sure that you mention on the follow-up email that
I will-
mention that.
I will definitely follow up with all the people who have not signed in.
Councilor Luzon?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick question, Sue. Are the organizations that receive these funds, are they going to be taken in consideration for CDBG funds? Is that a possibility?
We've already had our CDBG application round, so some of these organizations did receive CDBG, or will receive CDBG funding.
Thank you so much.
We're a little bit behind this year because the grant amounts haven't been announced yet, so.
Thank you.
Council President.
Last year, we didn't have any community organization that received funds from the CDBG.
That's correct, yes.
So are you considering organization this year?
So we already did our funding round for FY '26. So we've got a list of organizations we're going to be funding in FY '26.
Back to?
Yep. And you will see some names of organizations you saw here tonight.
Lastly, are you looking for a vote? Is there a vote that is needed? This is just a
I don't think-
presentation?
No, it's
You
just a
guys-
presentation, just
Just a reporting.
accept the
The reporting.
report, I guess.
We can do.
Right.
All right. Well, I think we're all set, unless there's anything else that you would like to provide. But thank you so much again for your presentation. Thank you to all of you that waited so patiently. We did start a little late. We usually have budget and finance on Wednesdays, not Mondays. So there was a little schedule mix-up, and I had to wait for quorum. But thank you all. Thank you, Sue. Thank you,
Thank you.
advisor.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, and if anybody's wondering about the construction, we apologize for that. It's gonna be awesome chambers eventually.
Good, congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, you good? Thanks, and we'll talk soon.
Gracias por el apoyo.
Vamos a ver mañana. Mucho tiempo sin ver.
Sue wants her back.
didn't sign in.
I didn't sign in, but my team did.
Oh, as long as someone from the team.
Yeah. I want to make sure that, I'll make sure that it is.
No voy a estar mañana, que tengo reuniones también. Entonces, voy a hacer mañana.
Eran solo documentos de trabajo que me faltaban, pero ya están ahí. Tú sabes que estamos haciendo trabajo.
Ah, pero la cena. Hay que averiguar, porque eso tendrá. Pero chequealo a ver. Pero me alegro. No, así yo le puedo llamar mañana. Así yo puedo llamar.
Okay, I will.
Gracias.
I stay?
Have to. So counselors, I know, I would like to, no, I know. For item 155-25, I would like to send it as a committee report so that the full council can have the presentation. Not necessarily go over the entire presentation, but a lot of good information is here, and I think the counselors should have it. Okay. So we can still, yeah. So I'm looking to have item 155-25 sent as a committee report.
I'll make a motion to send it to the full council as a committee report, and after that, I would like to open it for discussion through you.
Okay.
Second.
Motion has been made, properly seconded, discussion, Council President.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Again, I have one final question that we have for this item. So I know that the budget personnel and the administrator just left, but we're wondering what is going to happen with the $400,000 that were supposed to be under this program for that organization called Federación Hispana de Comerciantes.
Okay, we have, I think, a budget. We're in budget season, and there's a lot of things that's happening recently. And it's going to be presented before you. Our recommendation, both our CAFO and myself, when we met with the mayor, was for us to put some of the expenditures on hold. So monies that has not been expended, because we don't know how much more cuts it's going to be quite honest with you. From DPH, even though these cases are in court, and in some cases, whether it's it's a state request or a federal judge that is blocking certain cuts that are imposed by the federal government, but we don't know to what extent it's going to impact us. So we made a recommendation to the mayor for some of the funds that has not been used for us to hold on it and transfer it into, for us not to use them. That's the fear.
Right. Just to make sure, the only way that we have approved those funds is through this program, and obviously the reimbursement requirement and everything that is built in the program. So, if it is any type of intent, change, or propose, we as a council would like to be involved and if a council vote is required for any type of changes, we need to be part of it. Otherwise, we are very awake about the program and we want to be part of anything around this program. We understand about the cuts, we respect that, at least I respect that as a council president. But we want to make sure, like, if it is any type of allocation around this program, that have to be around the proof program that we allocate the funds.
Yeah, just be reassured, Council President, that in full transparency, we don't do that. I mean, at least if I myself, as the advisor to the mayor, we know that this, it hasn't happened. There has been requests. But I would leave further comments to our CAFO, because I think she's coming before you with the budget and would have the opportunity to, reason, to give you our justification to certain things. But we're not making any decisions without your consent, your approval.
No problem. I just want to make sure, like, we are aware. So just wondering, the funds that we put together, this $4.7 million, that we did for this program, do we put it on a specific account that is called as
Yes, it's based on in a separate account, so it's not mixed, so everything, whenever there's a request, whenever there's a reimbursement, it comes from the specific account from the creating a thriving Lawrence.
And those funds were part of this program.
Yes.
So how that interact with the budget?
I think they just presented it it's within your document to see what was the actual funding that was used and what is remaining so far.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you were mentioning a second ago that every fund has been put on hold due to the potential cuts from the federal government and other cuts. But
Yes.
I'm wondering, like, is the intent is to potentially use any type of fund that we have on this program for something else in case?
No, it's not going to be used. It's whatever came before you and which you have approved, like these organizations, all those that were able to reimburse were funded. Those that were not able to be reimbursed are those that we later found out that they were incomplete or whatever it is. I think it's very few. I think it's 1 or 2 or 3. I'm not quite sure. I need to, that would have been a good question for Sue. She would have responded. Let me see if she's still here. Okay, good. Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. If we have any other questions, we'll definitely ask at the full council
Good.
once we entertain this item.
Yes. Okay.
So, just wondering. Right, thank you.
Madam Chair,
Councilor Rizzo.
we have here Sara Perez from Federación.
Can I excuse
Where's
myself, Council, maybe Chair? I need to just take a small little break to.
Yep, go ahead. We're not on that item yet. So, you made your last comment. This is for the vote to send as a community report. Any other final questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 And the ayes have it. Thank you. Councilors, can I have a motion to untable item 117-25, review of Lawrence Redevelopment Authority's financials?
Motion to untable it.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Probably seconded. No discussion on table matters. All those in favor say aye. Aye, and the ayes have it. We have the chair, Chair Walker. Thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
So I guess until Octavian gets back, you could just do a little intro and tell us. So we have the management report. We have a letter from Kara's Community Investments and the LRA letter that was submitted to Mayor De Pena on February 26th pertaining
Yes.
to the fiscal year 2024 report. So just
Right.
an intro on this, and when Octavian gets back, we can continue with him.
Okay. I think that as far as I know, you have everything we had in terms of the financial reports and the rest.
Oh, and he's here. Okay, thank you. All right, so now we're taking off your senior advisor hat, and now you're here as the executive director of the Lawrence Redevelopment Authority.
Yep.
This item, I put it on the agenda because the city council did allocate $2 million to the LRA. We just want an update on how that's going.
$2.5
It's being used. $2.5 million. And, and you did provide 3 documents, so we appreciate that.
Yes,
Walk
I
us
would
through it.
just like to, I want to make sure, and Vice President, if you can confirm that we have our attorney as well as our accountant online. Is Ernie Cintron?
We have
Because if there's any
Yes.
questions.
Ernie is here, yep.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
here.
And Ernie, I'm sorry, Ernie is.
Ernie Cintron is the LRA's accountant.
Okay.
So
Oh,
I would like
Ernie.
to start because they have been online for a while.
Yeah,
If you don't mind.
I don't see the attorney here.
Yeah, Brian
online.
Corrigan.
Yeah. And I did request for him to be present.
Yes, well, he confirmed that he was there. Can you give me 1 second, or
Yep.
can we begin by having Ernie Cintron give you a summary and overview of our financials?
Yes.
And you can ask questions. In the meantime, I can contact Mr. Corrigan.
All right, Ernie, if you could, for the record, introduce yourself and state your address, and then you can go into the financial report.
Yes, my name is Ernie Cintron. The company represented is EM Business Solutions. We're located at 60 Island Street, Lawrence, Mass. 01840.
Okay. Can you give us an overview of the financials of the report we have? I'm looking right now. We're looking at the management report for the period.
Yeah, that report was prepared by me. It's a 2024 that you're looking at?
Yes.
Yeah, I was prepared for 2025. I'm sorry. I will pull 2024. I apologize.
And I'm also looking at the individuals that have logged in and out of Zoom, and his name is not.
I just spoken to Attorney Corrigan. He's going to be.
Okay.
He said he's going to log in.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm ready.
Okay. You have the floor, Ernie.
Oh, that's December. So you want the full year or just the month of December?
The full report. We're gonna
Full
go over the
report.
full report.
Let's see. Okay. All right, so the income for the year, let me know if this is the report that you're looking at, is 1,082,600.
Yep.
Okay, very good. So for advertising and promotional services, the expense on that was $28,978.70. Bank charges and fees are $30. Contract labor, which include admin services, $31,371.50. Board stipend of $50,833 with 17. Cleaning services of $1,300, and fund development director of $84,000. For a total contract labor of $167,504.67. We're going to demolition and remodeling. That was $442,967. We have a fundraising expense of $13,567.50. There was an insurance expense of $1,348. We have legal and professional fees. The accountant, $7,500. The architect was $33,917.50. Consulting services of $117,104.33. The interpreter services was $2,600. Legal services was $36,725, and there was a traffic study of $84,000. For a total legal and professional services of $281,846.83. We have a meal expense of $4,967.51. We have office supplies and software of $6,197.79. Parking reimbursement of $40. Postage and shipping of $185.85. Repairs and maintenance of $162. Supplies and materials of $13,306.25. Training reimbursement of $5,000. Transportation expense of $1,390. Travel and conference expense of $5,873.90. We also have a utility expense for electric, gas, and internet. For electricity, $1,426.50. For gas, $3,767.15, and for internet, $862.86, which is a total of $6,056.51. The website was $6,831.08 for a total expense of $986,254.19, which leaves a net operating income of $96,345.81. And the net income is, there was an interest earned of $27,266.25, which leaves a net income of $123,612.06. We have a balance sheet, which leaves the assets. We currently have in Bank of New England checking account ending in 9301, $250,000. Bank of New England shadow account of also ending in 9301, $197,845.86. Citizen Urban Renewal account ending in 8648, $48,639.80. Liabilities are matching the total liabilities and assets of $496,485.66. We have a statement of cash flow. Net income $123,612.06. Net cash provided by operating activities $123,612.06. Opening balance equities was -$32. Net cash increase for the period $90,906.78. Cash at the beginning of the period was $405,578.88. And on the bottom of that, there's a list of all the items that I just discussed by line item. Any questions?
Thank you. Councilors, any questions?
Just, if I may, I also wanted to remind the City Council that the LRA, prior to the transfer of city funds to the LRA, I believe there was an opening balance of $600,000, of which some of that, or $400,000, sorry, $400,000 that was basically from the LRA, and there, I believe, Ernie, the income that we have is based on some of the properties that is owned by the LRA, in which most of them are easements, and some of them are being paid by, we have a lease agreement with some of the, with tenants. As a good example would be, for instance, Attica, there's the terrace, is owned by the LRA. So they're paying a monthly or a yearly fee for that as part of the lease agreement. If I may continue, our financials are reflective of what we came before you with the ask and the request for funds. And number one is to comply with the elimination of blighted conditions or engage in urban renewal projects. Our focus, or the focus of the LRA, has been to implement and execute the urban renewal plan. Therefore, we require the assistance of several consultants, including Caris Community Investment, the environmental partners that did traffic studies for us. We had the Dakota architects that performed renderings and also worked on a project that we have on 3 parking spots within the downtown area. One is in partnership with Northern Essex Community College, that we're looking at a state-owned property as part of parking. Now we're looking at some of the other projects, parking project, possible projects and parking project spaces in the city. As part of the revenue, we did receive $134,000, or we are going to receive $134,000 from the Office of, from the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Community through the One Stop program. Those funds are to do feasibility studies in terms of projections of all the revenues that could be possibly generated to once these projects are completed in terms of tax revenue. We're doing also a study, not a study, a cost analysis of utilizing South Canal as a bus route and also as a bike route. Once development is, there's a projected development, 3 developments or 4 developments are going to take place simultaneously within the area. So we wanted to look at the possibility of using South Canal, which is parallel to Merrimack Street, for during congestion for the bus routes. Obviously, some of our expenses and the major expenses are, we do have an attorney that we're paying. That is Mr. Brian Corrigan, together with, as we came before you and presented within a document, also stipend that is being paid to our board members. And that's basically it, and some of the renderings that we requested to be prepared.
Councilors, any questions or comments?
Through you, Madam Chair.
Councilor Luzon.
And it's the advertising and promotional is kind of expensive. So I see here that you paid there's 4 checks that I'm seeing. It may be more, but I mean, you guys are paying, the LRA is paying a lot of money for videos. You mind explaining why? And I'm also aware that 2 of the payments were returned, so that is not reflected in here. 2 of the payments to Virus Deportivo was returned because I believe it was used for something else and not for promoting the LRA. So that is not reflected in here. Can you explain that?
Sure, definitely. Please be reminded that this, the management report is for 2024. It's not reflective of 2025. So you would have that report once the fiscal year is over. So what you're asking for is not reflected in this report.
So you're saying that you guys, the LRA spend more money than the ones that is reflected here?
Of course, yes.
Okay, in advertisement and,
So, where have you guys used the advertisement videos? Because
Well,
I haven't seen LRA videos.
Yeah, they've been publicized on social media. As a matter of fact, it was very productive.
Is there an LRA social media page?
There's not a social media page. We did it on. We have worked with the company to promote create a website, promote on LinkedIn and other Instagram and social media, and that has been publicized. As a result, the first notification that we got, we had 28 respondent to letters of interest, and that's not a few. For a city to have 28, and anybody in the industry would know that that's quite a lot of letters of interest. From the 28, we received 20 respondents that submitted an RFP, and there were three 3 other organizations that didn't submit, our company, the developers that didn't submit because they were late. So that's, if you look at a success rate, that's very successful based on the promotion that we have. We did get a return.
Madam Chair, if I may, I would like to know how much money the LRA had spent in total in advertisement, and also, Senior Advisor, most of your developers are from Lawrence or connected to Lawrence in some way. So,
Those that were selected.
yeah, well,
Yeah, but not the applicants. We had people
I
from New
would
York.
like to know how many applicants you received, the LRA received, just to match how beneficial was the money that you spent in advertisement. What I have noticed is that the one that the LRA selected, the developers, are from Lawrence or connected to Lawrence in some way. But, I'm looking forward to see that.
Yeah, but I would like to clarify it as well, Madam Counselor, that we went through a process that is mandated by the state. We had a CAC, Community Advisory Committee, that participated, and we also had the Lawrence Redevelopment Authority's Board that made the selection. Once they submit, the developer submitted the RFP or responded to the RFP, there was no guarantee that we were going to select, or the board was going to select a company, whether local or outside the state. However, if you go on the website that was created, and which also part of the marketing and advertisement, you can see all the projects that were submitted. You can see the presentations as well, if I'm not mistaken, and you could see it told, so it was open to the public.
Through you, Madam Chair, I have, Senior Advisor, and I have seen it. We just have, I have, as a counselor of District B, questions that my constituents have sent, especially when it comes to the finances. Another concern that we have is that I don't see no invoices here. And I would like to see some of the invoices in the next meeting, if possible, Madam Chair.
Well, that will be discussed in the board. The board, once they vote, it will be provided to you as a quasi-public entity. There's no requirement for us to do it to you as a board, as a city council, but we
Council
can.
President.
As a point of information, I wanted to clarify what you just mentioned. You are required to provide any information of the $2.5 million that we provide through the ARPA fund. It is not up to the board. It is not. It is not up to the board because those funds are from the ARPA fund. From the $400,000 that you have prior to that, that's something else. But for the $2.5 million from ARPA, you are required to provide any type of documentation that we ask for. That's a point of information.
And let me clarify it, because I think you didn't understand what I said. Yes, of course, it would be presented to the board would vote on it, and then they would, as a board, present it to you. Just like all the organizations that were here had to present it in the same manner. But yes.
Through you, Madam Chair, it's my understanding that some of your board members have requested the invoices, and you haven't provided the invoices for your own members. So it's important for this council to see those invoices, so that at least we can have something to answer back to the constituents that are asking questions.
Yes, and I can respond to that. The reason why some statements and invoices were submitted, that's hearsay. Invoices were submitted with detailing each one. There were questions concerning some of them, but that was presented to the board. Sometimes you have a board member or board members that, they're not good at record keeping, and they may have because some of these invoices are, and documents have been discussed in previous meetings. However, they were presented. We did encounter a situation in which I think it was 2 accounts that was with a former bank. I would like not to mention the bank right now because just to be for accuracy, that we had dealings with, or I believe it was Citizens Bank, and which these accounts were closed. Some of them we were not quite sure. There were payments that were made or funding that were not properly reported, not by the LRA, but by the bank itself, that we have requested statements. To be in full transparency, we are still awaiting statements from the bank. Since these accounts have been closed for a while, the bank has taken a little longer to produce them.
To you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Senior Advisor, for responding. But I mean, as a counselor, I would like to see invoices attached to your report. Another concern that I have is I don't see here your treasurer. I think it was, she shouldn't be here tonight presenting this. Not only you accountant, but you have a board with titles, and it will be beneficial to have her here for the next meeting.
Yes, unfortunately, due to personal circumstances, she was not able to attend. But definitely, we can have a subsequent meeting. We'll be happy to have her here as well. But she did excuse herself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before we get to you, Council President, I just want one more comment pertaining to advertisement and promotion. I know this is last year, so I know this isn't accurate information, but $28,000, almost $29,000 is a lot. I don't have Facebook on my phone, so I couldn't research the Facebook, but I did research Instagram, LinkedIn, and I looked up the website. Beautiful website, by the way. Left Eye Creations did an amazing job with this website.
And the videos and pictures that you see was part of the other company as well.
Okay. Let me go to these pictures. So I'm looking at, so this is the same. So the same video that we have on the website, I'm saying we because, to generalize it, but is the same video that's on the LinkedIn that was stated that it was used for advertisement. I'm assuming social media promotion, social media ad. I don't see it here as a social media ad, and also just for the future, for the organization, the video that I just watched, there are like 4 or 5 different videos that you could create to promote the LRA. And I know this is my professional background, so I know what I was seeing, and it could have been done a lot better, and 2, you have all these different scenarios within this one video, and I'm not seeing anything particularly advertising the process itself for the sites that we were just told. So that's something to take into consideration for the future. If you are going to spend this much money on advertisement to promote the LRA, it should be done in an efficient way. It is the organization that helps move our city forward in terms of development, and this is just, I think it could have been done a lot, but I know, not that I think, I know it could have been done a lot better.
Yeah, some of the work and production was not only to promote, it wasn't necessary to promote the LRA, but also to promote the city of Lawrence, and there were quite some meetings that we had, and we had to ensure that some of the presentations, and if you go on each one of them, there's 20 meetings recorded.
Okay. Just for the future, I suggest actually you guys to sit down as a board and review it and see the difference. Like, you could have, I can say for about $6,000 to $7,000, you could have gotten at least 5 social media videos to promote the LRA. And that's just minimum. It could be a little higher, but from the work that I've done and from established agencies that I've worked with in my professional career, I know that's the standard, so.
Vice President, we value your opinion.
Council
I'll bring it to the board.
Council President.
Through you, Madam Chair. So there is a couple of things, just concept-wise, that I would like to kind of understand. So do you have the vote we took for that driving allowance? For the $2.5 million that we approved from the ARPA fund. Do you have the original document that you guys provided
Yes, I
to
do.
us?
This memo that was presented with the breakdown of the expenses, with the funding allocation.
No, just for the 2.5.
Yes, this is the document that was presented with the memo. Can I see the document if you don't mind? I can. You mean with the annual, the reporting? Yes. This one? Where it states to Honorable Brian A. DePena?
Actually, this is a sentence that I was thinking of. Well, concept-wise, I would like to kind of potentially differentiate the expenditures that you have for general operation of the LRA and the actual $2.5 million that we allocate for that to focus on the urban renewal plan.
Correct.
So, because what we have in front of us is it looks like a general operation budget, or perhaps a report, but not necessarily a management report, but not necessarily focusing on the project itself. As we treat the other organization that we just have today, they were providing us with funds that they have spent related to the funds that they receive through the ARPA fund. And I'm not seeing that here because, if it is probably all together, because we would like to know more how you have spent the $2.5 million that we provide. to
No,
the
we haven't
LRA.
expended, to correction, we haven't expended $2.5 million.
No. I'm not saying that you have spent all the money. I'm saying that you have provided us with expenditures of the organization, but it looked like it's a general expenditures, not necessarily focusing on the urban renewal plan. And I'll say that for multiple things, expenditure that I have seen here, that not necessarily corresponds to the urban renewal plan. A good example of that is perhaps that the demolition and remodeling that you spent $442,000 on that, and as far as I know, based on the meeting that I have seen, you probably spend that money on that on that old electrical plant that we have, that you guys have
Correct.
on that project, but that's not part of the urban renewal plan.
Okay, if you recall, when we came before you in regards to the expenditure, and I don't want to mix one thing with the other, but it was said that and that applied also to other organizations, they should seek ways in which they can capitalize on the funds that we're giving, so they don't have to be reliant on the city funding on a regular basis.
That's why I was asking you if you have the original vote, and you refer
Yes.
to this document, and this document.
No, this vote, this
This-
document that was presented before you, with the breakdown of allocation. It says, The resolution authorizing allocation of free cash funds to the Lawrence Redevelopment Authority for $2.5 million. Yeah. I can request the city council, the clerk, to provide the information.
We'll want to get that one digital.
Can you also send it via email?
I didn't send it via email.
No, but can you also send
Oh, yeah, sure, definitely.
Can you also send
Yes.
it?
I just want to get, because it's unfair for me to say something
Yeah, correct.
without the original vote that we took back then in
Absolutely,
2022.
understood.
So I want to see what we actually, the current vote that we took, and not necessarily what you have in your statement, but perhaps what the actual vote was and related to the $2.5 million. So in that way, I can correlate it to the actual statement you have, because I'm very focused on that $2.5 million, how you spend that.
Yes, and some of the expend, and I understand, is correct. And some of the items or activities that we proposed, we haven't got to that as some of them, which would be we consider a funding for a gap loan it's on the document that has been presented. Once you see the copy is what we submitted together with the agenda item. Because we didn't consider that, first of all, we wanted to see the different activities that was funded through the business, through the Office of Economic Development. And to do the gap financing of probably a portion of other priority. I think self-sufficiency was one of them as well. So we just focus on the implementation of the urban renewal plan for now.
I remember they have $500,000 for the small businesses. on
Yes,
that vote as
correct,
well.
correct. It's within the document that is going to be presented. So remember, we haven't finished yet. And the second transfer of funds, the LRA received the funds later this year in February. Late in February was the transfer.
My point is that I wanted to kind of my point around this is because I wanted to see if all these expenditures were related to the $2.5 million or your general operation, because you were having general operation expenditures before.
Yes.
That were not related necessarily to the urban renewal plan, the plan that you actually get approved for. So I want to make sure, like, if there is any differentiation between everything that you have presented here with the actual vote that we took back then in 2022 and a relationship between the two. If it is actually needed, if it's not, and then we can actually make sure that because we as an organization, we need to hold you accountable.
Correct.
As an organization, because those are funds that are public funds, and those were funds that we believe it could be used in a way that is better for the community through the organization, and that's why we allocate those funds.
It's a fair ask. I hope that Ernie is listening as well. So maybe they can do, I can speak to our accountant to make sure that could be reflected. But I'm understanding now what your request is. And
I am listening. I am listening, by the way, and I will make those adjustments to reflect the expenses.
Right, and another thing is, I wanna leave my last statement before I get there. So if anybody has any questions.
Any further questions? I know you, Councilor Lozon, you have a question pertaining to another tabled item that's also related to the LRA. So this is another item that she has. So you want to make your statement? Okay, Council President? So you're going to finish that.
Out of the $2.5 million from ARPA, Through you, Madam Chair. So I want to make sure, like, I just read the vote. I hope that this is, I will check with the clerk to make sure that this is also
Reflected in the
reflect the
document.
common record
Yes.
that we have. But I appreciate that,
Yeah.
that information. So that $2.5 million, and I want to keep on pushing on that. It is essential for the LRA to perform business when it comes to developments. And I see it here that there is legal services related to the urban renewal plan, perhaps $36,725. Are those legal services also reflecting this year's legal services?
No,
Or
what you
just
have right now is
2024?
just 2024.
Okay.
There's more legal services. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of them, because one, for instance, the city, the LRA attorney needs to review every time that we publish a document, or if there's a contract for the consultants, the review of strategies in which what we can legally negotiate, what we cannot legally negotiate. We have selected project managers in preparation of sitting at the table and negotiate, because just like a bank, you go to the bank, and if you have a project, a construction project, the bank always has a construction expert that knows about construction to say, hey, are the numbers correct? So they have developed contract. He has other responsibility whenever we submitted the first minor amendment that he had to review, prepare those documents, submit it. Correspondences that we need to send. We work. A good example would be the Essex company that owns the canal. So we have dealings with them in which we go back and forth. There's legal questions. So not only in regards to the urban renewal plan, but you have other issues that the LRA is responsible for that we need legal advice. And Attorney Corrigan has been with us, I think, with the LRA for quite some time. I think at least 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. And he's been performing his duties at a very inexpensive charge based on what we're requesting him to do for us as the LRA.
Is the LRA getting ready to sue the city?
I would refer that answer to our attorney.
Is he here?
He's online? He's not online? Okay, I can answer it in this way. We want a definite answer as to, you have two city entities. One is the city council, two bodies, and one is the redevelopment authority. And we have been going back and forth as to, through the city attorney that is giving information to you that we are in disagreement with. We believe that our council and other councils that we have sought advice and other redevelopment authorities that we have communicated with are saying that we are within our rights. So we need clarification, because we need to work with you. There's a major amendment that we're working with. We have to start the entire process again, and to be at odds just because of a question and a legal opinion doesn't make us, in a comfortable situation. I think both for the LRA, I think that we and the board needs to get a clarification. And also your body, you may rely on your city attorney, but we are in impasse. So who's right?
So before you answer this, I want to make something clear. Yes, both the Lawrence City Council, the LRA, they're both city agencies or city bodies. but we're not in the same playing field. This is the legislative body of the city of Lawrence.
Correct.
And I just want to make sure that you're not putting us in the same playing field as a quasi-agency of the city. Like,
No,
this
I
is
do
the
not do,
legislative body.
no, I didn't mean, if you misunderstood what I said, and I'm very
I
clear.
I think I did, so that's why.
Yes, yeah, I just want to make clear that
Yeah.
you're legislators, correct?
Thank you.
And we are the
Council
city.
President.
Correct. You have definitely you have a say. But in this case, the LRA doesn't want to be in a position, in a opposing position with the city council just because of a question. I think if it is normal, if you have two bodies that are conflicting based on a legal opinion, it happens all the time. That we need the clarification.
And the question was, is the LRA ready to sue the city? And based on your answer, I will say yes.
I would say that we're looking for a declaratory judgment,
So
which is different than a, you know,
Let's play
than a
semantic.
lawsuit.
Let's play semantic here.
Yeah,
You are going to the court to seek for an opinion
correct.
through a lawsuit.
I mean, yes, I mean, but it's not something that would be in
We're playing
opposition.
semantic. We're playing. I think that
Yeah.
I learned a little bit of English when I went to college. So
Yeah.
it is what it is, and that's respectful. That's fine, but I want the public to know about this too.
Of course.
I want to make sure that the people that are seeing this meeting and seeing this conversation, and I think that it's been very clear that yes, we are ready to as the city council is about to be sued by the LRA because of an opinion related to the urban renewal plan, an urban renewal plan that we provide $2.5 million to the LRA to develop. And an urban renewal plan that we, the council, approved back in 2016 in December about the revitalization of the city. And a plan that by many believe that need to be updated. And as you mentioned, you guys are getting ready to do a major amendment to the plan, which a major amendment, this major amendment will require a city council vote.
Correct.
As per the urban renewal plan that we actually approved back in 2016. But it also reflected the intent of the LRA, the intention of the LRA of going through the court system to be able to avoid the city council at some point, one way or another, to be able to approve the transfer of those properties. It will be a battle that it will essentially be up there to the public and to everybody, and I want to make sure that we have this conversation at this plain level field, which is basically the city council floor.
Council President, I respectfully disagree. This is part of the beauty of our democracy. We're Americans. And if we see it right now, we have the states suing the federal government. We have the federal government suing cities. Why? Because they're in impasse. And that's the beauty of us as an organization, to be able to do that and stand for the community. I believe that you are doing it as well. I think that the advice that are provided to the city council and based on industry experts is incorrect, and that needs to be clarified. As a matter of fact, this is not the first time that it has happened in the city, that some information is provided or advice is given by council, and at the end of the day, whether we lose the lawsuit, whether there's a difference of opinion, or there's a misunderstanding or misinterpretation of the law. And I think our city attorney made that clear that night. It was his opinion.
And by the way, we have you on record saying that the vote we took back in 2016 do not reflect the transfer of those properties because we didn't adopt the resolution that was supposed to be adopted. So we're clear, we understand.
Yeah, and we want to work with you, City Council. We want to work with all of you. And it happens. It happens. There's a difference of opinion, but in no shape, way, or form, this is personal. And we respect you, and sometimes it's uncomfortable as a representative, just like Councilor Luzon said tonight, and I'm sure that happens with you. You may have in one district that you may have people that are opposing redevelopment. They're comfortable, they don't want to hear about traffic, they don't want, sometimes it's discriminatory. But when you are in a conflicting position, it's not an opinion of a group of people. It's something that we're working towards the benefit of the community. And we respect you as well, Council President, for your opinion, and we will continue to work.
It's nothing personal. It's not about Giovanni Rodriguez. It's about the community.
Yeah.
It's not about the LRA. It's not about Octavio.
Yeah.
It's about the community.
Chair.
We will find a solution to that. Overall, we need the city council, we need the LRA working together. Like I mentioned earlier, the LRA is part of the future, right? It's part of progressing our city, and I'm sure, court or without court, we will get an answer.
Yeah, that this is not necessarily about just the city council, because the thing is like in the way that potentially the LRA want to foresee this or want to seek this through the community is like it's a problem with the city council, and it's not. It is a matter of a document that we have approved for the city of Lawrence. And that document requires the city council approval for any transfer of any property. So it's not about the LRA city council issue. It's a matter of the process. So that rhetorica of LRA city council differences, it's not necessarily that. It's the process that we actually put together in a document that it was approved by the city council back then and signed by the mayor at the moment. That was the process that we need to follow. So it's not necessarily one against, or the LRA against the city council. It's about the process to how to follow it.
I understand.
This one.
Thank you, Councilor Luzon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And before we get to the court, before you sue, the LRA sues the city council, what we have in front of us now is invoices are missing. So I would like to see those invoices. I also want to see those invoices, expenses, Amazon. You spend a lot of money ordering from Amazon, so I would like to see those invoices, because for now, what I have in front of me is incomplete. And I need to have an answer for my constituents, and I hope the LRA can produce that. I would like, if I may, Madam Chair.
And like we clarified that Ernie has mentioned pertaining to the $2.5 million that we allocated to the LRA.
Yes.
And it's
Pertaining to-
budget 2024, so
Yeah.
you are going to have that information. We are going to provide the financials. Once we're going to follow our process of financial stewardship. So I will ask you to have the necessary patience to do that. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen once we have just like we did for you right now. We provide all the information that's within this fiscal year, this current, the 2024.
And that's when I'm asking senior advisor, 'cause I also run a company, and I know that I have to produce invoices for my accountants. And for me, what I have in front of me is incomplete. I would like to request the president of the treasurer, if we have another meeting, in regards to this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we will have another,
Yeah.
once we have those documents, once you guys organize, and you mentioned something about a vote on your end, et cetera.
And if I may, Madam
will.
Claire, I'm just giving, my questions are based on requests by my constituents. They also, I would like to know the responsibility of Andrea Traficante, what her responsibility, and how much, I know it shows here how much is getting paid, but I want to know her responsibility to the LRA.
We are not going to speak, Counselor, with all respect to you, we're not going to discuss individuals. We are not going to, we are not going to do
Madam
that.
Chair, if I may,
So this
you
is-
already,
So,
No,
yeah.
no, yeah, I know.
oh, duties, okay.
So-
Yeah,
So what is
duties.
her title, Madam?
So-
Just
let's-
job descriptions.
So on the LRA, we have the executive director. What other positions do we have within the LRA?
We have a paid position, paid position.
Paid position,
Paid
sorry.
position
Yeah.
is the fund development person. We have a part-time office, we call her office manager that does it, that works with Ernie on, was hired as a part of the LRA. And then we have consultants.
Okay,
that
so
we-
let me,
that we
let
pay.
me, I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna
Alright.
request again if I may, Madam
So
Chair.
this is what we're going to do. Let's go through fund development office managers, their primary duties, and how they assist the LRA.
In order for it not to be reflective as bias, I would suggest the three positions that it is there. The exec, starting with the executive director and the other staff members that you mentioned. Otherwise, it's going to be seen as if it's personal.
Yeah.
And
And
that,
I
I
know-
think that would be a fair,
I agree. I
We
with
agree,
you.
we
Yeah.
agreed on that.
Yeah.
And an overview, and I believe you mentioned this earlier, because the consultant fees are also reflected in the budget, but just an overview, I believe you said the LRA has 2 consultants. What
We,
they help
we,
with.
we have several consultants. One of them has, I requested Karis because he's more active than the other ones, because some of them have provided just like one service or multiple service, but just 2 or 3. And others are sub-consultants of one of these that have been paid through probably James Karis or other engineers. But that involves traffic study, like I mentioned before, an assessment of properties that we're looking at as possible redevelopment sites, parking studies that have been, because the dynamic changes, and you know as well that we've been trying to work with some of the developers which will be affected indirectly by certain parking and lease agreements. And we need to prepare this document because when we go before our governor and our state senators and congresswomen, we need to make sure, especially now, that we are advocating for the funding, projects that are shovel-ready.
Thank you. Okay, so now let's go through the 3 main positions that are reflected in the budget that are being paid out.
Well, I don't have the job descriptions that are printed. If you would like, we can always come back to you, or through a memo, we can submit it to you, and if you deem that this would be requiring our presence, but I think at this point
How will we do this? When we get the updated, what's this called, the management report for 2025 and the invoices, let's include the 3 main job descriptions with that, and I think that covers it all because it is I'm assuming personnel is being paid from the money that we allocated, but that can be also
Yes.
confirmed through your accountant. So we'll have that. Let's properly organize that and ensure that.
Yeah,
that's-
I would ask you to be patient. I think the council, some of you as well, are traveling to Washington. Remember, it's coming pretty soon.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work that we're doing. It's not overnight, and it's not being disrespectful not to provide you with the information. But the information has been provided, and is easily accessible. We can give you the information about the books that have been bought or whatever it is, so that won't be a problem. We can provide you.
So let's do that for
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the next meeting, but we'll be in communication
Yeah.
to see where you guys
Yeah, we can
stand
forward the
and-
information, and then we can, if you will allow us, then we can have another meeting, table the item
Yep.
with some, because we don't need a vote. We need to just do the reporting And then if that reporting is missing, or you, counselor, you feel that it's missing, we provide you with the information.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, so at this point, I think we've had ample discussion. There's no need for further discussion as we are waiting for updated reports. So can I have a motion, I don't know where my agenda is, to
Table.
retable item
Motion to table.
Item 117-25, motion has been made by the council president. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Luzon. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And the ayes have it. Councilors, can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion
Second.
has been made, probably seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye, and the ayes have it. Thank you so much, councilors.